You're listening to the Great Give Radiothon on WNHH FM. We're helping nonprofits from throughout our community raise money to continue doing work that makes a difference. Today, we're with Josiah Brown and Nick Ramirez from Connecticut CASA. Thank you so much for being here. And we were just listening to a special recording of You've Got a Friend in Me. Josiah, could you tell us a little bit more about that recording and why it's special?
Yes, thanks. Well, the song, of course, is You've Got a Friend, and our organization is dedicated to providing caring, consistent volunteer advocates for children in the child welfare system, both in foster care and under what's known as protective supervision, where they remain with their families as long as that's safely possible. And the singer in this case was Brandon Sherrod, who's an ambassador for Connecticut CASA. He's one of two ambassadors, along with Mie Oni. Both of them were student athletes at Yale. And Brandon now is an assistant basketball coach at Yale, and as you can tell, also a very accomplished singer, and he's originally from Bridgeport. So our ambassadors are helping to raise awareness and recruit additional volunteer advocates, and Nick Ramirez is one of those advocates. So we thought we would talk a little bit about our program and then what the volunteer role is, and Nick can speak to that.
Yeah, definitely, and thank you for being here. Could both of you tell me a bit more about the organization for any of our listeners who have maybe never heard of you, don't know what you're doing?
Sure. Yeah, I think I'll do that first, Nick.
Yeah.
So our organization is part of a national movement of court-appointed special advocates all over the country. We're in virtually every state, and in Connecticut, we're relatively new. We just started up 5 years ago, and the idea is to inform judges further about the best interests of children by making recommendations periodically about what's going well for them, their living situation, whether in foster care with their families, and then also building a relationship with the children, because there's plenty of research showing that a caring, consistent adult can really make a difference in developing resilience. And this is a proven approach, and we're growing it here in Connecticut from just one court originally in New Haven 3 years ago to now 7 courts across the state. We're serving most of the child protection courts in Connecticut, though we remain based here in New Haven. And Nick is one of our local volunteer advocates, so he visits typically on a monthly basis the children. He has worked in a protective supervision case. He's worked with kids both in elementary and preschool age and adolescence, and that range is characteristic of our program. We serve young people from birth to 18, and it's associated with better outcomes. Kids are more likely to find safe, permanent homes where they have an opportunity to thrive, have better social and emotional outcomes, and Nick could speak to what it is he does.
Yeah, Nick, I'd love to hear. What does your day-to-day look like? What does your work look like?
So it starts with reviewing a case file. Usually the case has been ongoing. So the first case I had there were previous volunteers assigned to it, and I joined the case while it was still in progress. So I try to learn as much as I can about the children involved in the case and the previous advocacy that was done, and kind of get a picture of where we wanted to go, what we wanted to do, basically make a plan for each particular case. So like Josiah said, we meet once or twice a month with we make visits, and aside from that, we also try to make plans. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. It happens.
We also try to reach out to various people who are involved in the children's lives, like the teachers, the social workers, the lawyers for the children, for the family. Try to make as many contacts as we can just to figure out what is best for the child.
Yeah. And what do these cases typically look like for these children? Are they like foster care cases, or what does that look like?
So many of the cases are in foster care. The children have already been removed from their homes, and the hope is that eventually they'll be able to be safely reunified with their families. In other cases, the court is already involved with the Department of Children and Families, or DCF, but it's called protective supervision. And the hope is that eventually that supervision can be lifted and the families can return to normal. If the improvement does not occur, eventually sometimes the children do enter foster care, and then the hope is that whenever possible they can be placed with members of their extended families. Non-relative foster care is, more of a last resort, and the hope is that children don't linger in foster care and transition many times from one placement to another, because each time that creates additional trauma and risk. And I should underscore that our volunteer advocates and our small professional staff work very closely in partnership with, as Nick was suggesting, the social workers from DCF, lawyers, certainly the judges, as I said, and then also educators, health professionals, therapists, any number of others who may be involved in a child's and a family's life. And as well, our volunteers help to connect the children and their families, particularly in the protective supervision cases, to various resources and services, such as after-school programs, summer programs, birth to 3 programs for young children. So the idea is that every child and family can benefit from having a volunteer advocate just looking out for them, because the professionals have heavy caseloads.
Yeah.